Ivan Loganov incorporates lost edges masterfully in his drawings. He merges the shadow shape of the neck into the background and finds just the slightest bit of edge between the neck and the shirt, practically disappearing. Sharp edges here could have been too distracting from the face. He completely loses the bottom of the shirt into the white background, letting the figure fade into the environment. As the hat wraps around to the back of the head, he loses that edge into the dark background. By merging it into the darkness, it feels even more distant, pushing the forehead forward. On the front of the hat, he merges it with the light part of the forehead. He loses the bottom edge completely, making that highlight feel like it's glowing. Ivan finds plenty of detailed edges, but only where he wants them. He controls his lost and found edges to make you look exactly where he wants you to look. We're gonna practice doing the same thing in our own drawings. I'm gonna give you a project to get better at lost edges. And we have a special guest coming in to pose for us. So that's Skelly. He's kind of our mascot.
Okay.
If you ever take the anatomy course, you'll see a lot of him.
What the?
Oh, whoa, hey, you didn't see that.
Later.
So yeah, Skelly and I had a photo shoot. You could find a bunch of his skull photos in the downloads. I got an assignment for you guys. You're gonna do a fully shaded drawing with a focus on deciding where to lose edges and where to find them. The edges that you decide to find are not always gonna be sharp. We're not just deciding what's sharp and what's soft like we did before. This is different. We've already learned about how edges reveal forms, so any edges that you find, you still have to decide if it's sharp, firm, or soft. We're just adding this one additional edge type, lost edges. Or are we subtracting them? So we can decide some piece of information should be completely removed for whatever reason, and we wipe it away. I'm calling this project Lost and Found Edges because I want to make sure you don't rush through those found edges. The found edges actually become even more important. By introducing the lost edges, you now have fewer found edges competing for attention. So the ones that you decide to find really stand out. As you're deciding where to put those lost edges, consider these areas. First, think about the shadows merging into a dark background. That's a natural place to lose an edge. Same thing with lights merging into a light background. You can also remove a core shadow if you think that dark stripe between the shadow and the light is too much information, too much volume for a particular area. And don't forget about losing information completely when small details are too distracting. You'll see portrait artists do this frequently with all the sharp edges between teeth to focus your attention on the more appealing features. And you'll notice that some of the photos I've provided have two light sources. This does make it a little more complicated and different from what we've already learned about shading form, but specifically for this project, it gives us more opportunities to play with what parts of the skull we can lose into the background, especially into a light background. This part of the shadow family is lit up by another rim light, and you could decide to lose that whole shape into a light background. But if you do so, you might make it look like the skull ends here. And so you might need to actually find a little bit of this rim lit edge. But how much? Well, this is where you get to play and figure out what looks good. Don't be afraid to lose more at first, and then find some more, and then lose them again. This kind of back and forth experimentation is healthy. It's how you discover what works. Once you're done, head over to Proko.com, find this lesson, and post your drawing in the community. Advanced students. As always, we're gonna make it harder. You guys have a different set of skull images. Skelly didn't make our photo shoot very easy. He kept moving and just being a bad model. So some photos are out of focus. This messes up the edge relationships. You can't rely on the reference to simply copy the edges. You have to interpret and change them to refocus the attention to the center of the face. Find the sharp edges and lose the unwanted details, low contrast edges, and edges in the back. You're inventing the relationship between the sharp, firm, and lost edges, while also trying to decide where to introduce the lost edges. It's not meant to be easy. It's your last project, so I gotta give you a challenge. For materials, I recommend a pencil that allows you to use the side. You wanna be able to quickly fill in areas and play with the edge freely. A sharp tip takes too long for experimentation. It's not impossible, but I recommend utilizing the side for this project. Remember to sharpen your graphite longer so you have more of the lead exposed to work with. A 5mm clutch pencil works great for this too. And a charcoal pencil is even better because you can smudge it more. And some case studies. Before I let you go get lost in lost edges, let's take a look at some case studies to help you get inspired. I'm gonna show you 2 different pieces by Steve Houston. So in this drawing, Steve lost the edge of the shadow here from the arm and the back into the background by merging all the values together. So he simplified and flattened the area, but then he found those edges again with the lines. So it's not a completely lost edge, but he does lose it and then find parts of it again to simplify the area. In other areas like the arm on the right side, you can see under the armpit, he didn't completely find that edge with the line. He only found parts of the bottom edge of the arm. Finding the edge again with a line allows you to create this chaotic energy. You see, he doesn't completely connect the lines here. It's almost like the back is moving. He does a similar thing up here in the back of the head. He completely lost the neck and the back of the cranium, and then he found a portion of it, but instead of using a line, he used this chaotic zigzag tone. And looking at another one of his paintings, he lost a lot of the dark areas completely into these flat shapes, and all the detail lives in the lights and the halftones. This back arm and the 2 gloves are simplified into just one shape. It looks like there's detail within it, but if you look close, it's just chaotic energy lines. None of the detail here describes the anatomical forms of the forearm or the forms of the gloves. The detail here, or really just the noise here, is just there to give a sense of energy and motion. If you want to participate in these projects and get all the other lessons, demonstrations, and critiques from this course, go check out the full Drawing Basics course at proko.com/drawing. All right, go ahead and jump into those skull drawings. Up next, some drawing demos and critiques to finish it off.